it's something that they talked to me about before. Joel and those guys, and I was like, oh, okay, that could be interesting. And so, and we're going to be shot in Vancouver before.
Dark Matter was?
That originally.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And stuff like that. But you know what? I read it. It was very intriguing. It's very interesting. And if they can work it out, because at the time I was still doing the strength and stuff, so if they could work it out, I thought that it could be fun. And stuff. So they worked it out, and here I am.
Yeah, and the producers, it's the same producers, different showrunners, but the same producers as Lost Girl had mentioned this character to me, and thought that perhaps it might be something that would be a good fit. So I read it also, and I thought it was a really great project and a huge challenge for me to play a character like this and find out if I didn't know if I had anything to bring to the table. Like I didn't know if this was something that I could bring something to, and so it was a big challenge for me to give it a try.
When did you work together before?
On a show called The Guard, which was a show about
Search and rescue.
Yeah, search and rescue.
I was her boss.
Because he was my boss. That's right.
I did, and I slept with my employer.
That's right, you did.
I did. And then she found out I had a wife.
I did. No, she did.
She did.
I always knew he had a wife. Yeah, you heard.
He wasn't.
No, well, he was nice enough.
He was.
I mean, he slept around a bit, but
Well, they were separated.
Yeah, you were on a break.
It's the truth. They were separated. They even said it.
Speaking about being promiscuous, I was just modding one of the other panels, and they asked me to come in and help you guys out, but I think you guys are doing a good enough job. Give them a round of applause, guys. I'm from the Bristol. We haven't had a chance to be sitting next to each other. But I've heard only amazing things about you guys. And so, if it's cool with you, I'm just going to step in for a minute, unless you want to continue.
No, step in.
I understand you guys have been in entertainment probably as long as I have. I've been in Sesame Street, that's how I was doing that panel. Wow. So, how many different shows have you guys done? I mean, because obviously you're doing Dark Matter now, and I know you mentioned a couple of different things that you're working on, or that you've worked on before, Strain and Lost Girls. What else have you done that they might not have known about? Because a lot of people think, you get on television and then all of a sudden you're there. You know what I mean? And, they haven't paid their dues. There are a lot of people, been around forever. You would never necessarily know.
Had the 20-year overnight success story.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
An overnight success.
Yeah,
but so what have you guys done, prior to these?
Oh
my God.
Start listening.
I know. You gotta go on IMDb for that one.
I gotta go on that.
Yeah.
That's my IMDb. So, what kind of training did you guys have? Did you have formal training to get into business?
I did. I don't know about you. Did you?
I did. I mean, it was interesting. I loved it as a kid, and I did some training, but it wasn't my career. Originally, I was a commercial pilot, and that was my original thing. And this was just a side thing that was fun for me. And then, when I started doing a little bit more, I went to Rec Academy and studied there a little bit. Then did some other workshops and stuff. And I fell in love with it, and I said I had to give it a shot. But I didn't give it a shot, and then I would regret it. And I did.
What was the transition like, going from commercial pilot to acting?
Oh, that was a transition like.
Totally different animal.
Completely. Yeah. It was literally. Long story short, I got this movie. Went over to China for a couple months, and while I was there, I almost died. And I almost went off this waterfall and that sort of thing. So I'm like, 21, thinking bulletproof. I'm here working out with this kung fu team, and being a little badass. And all of a sudden I was faced with my own temper. And I don't know if it's happened to any of you, but it wakes you up and you take things more seriously. And on the way back, it was kind of like I had lots of fun because I was over there too long. And those guys were like, "What are you gonna do when you get back?" I'm like, honestly, I need to give this acting thing a year and see what happens. And it took off from there.
And where are you guys based out of? LA, New York?
I'm in Toronto.
Toronto.
LA, Vancouver.
LA, Vancouver. Oh, there you go. I'm not allowed in Canada. We won't talk about that. So do you do a lot of traveling back and forth to New York, LA? I'm assuming you do a ton of appearances as well, correct?
Totally, yeah. I mean, both of the shows I've shot have just so happened to have been in Toronto the last bunch of years, so I've been there, but certainly for this time, yeah.
what's the difference between filming a series in Toronto or in Canada as opposed to in the States?
Oh, God, there's a lot of differences. Toronto's its own little animal. It has, it's a very indigenous project and stuff, but it's also cold. Initially over the winter, and it is cold. You guys know about cold in Philly? Yeah, it's like, yeah. It's been cold. That's the only
That's Roger's memory of filming
Yes.
in Toronto. It's cold.
But it's beautiful.
So you guys were taking questions. Who else has a question?
I got questions.
Right over here. Careful now.
Come on over.
Insurance is, good, but we don't know how.
Hi. I was wondering if, 6 or even Android woke up before everyone else, would the leadership dynamic have changed at all? Do you think it would have changed at all?
I think as we discover our characters, we kind of fell back into the slots we were prior. So it's like
I don't think the android would have ever been the leader.
yeah.
It's just something about that character that's not so much leader-esque.
Enforcer, badass.
Definitely. Lots of other things.
This question's for Zoe. It's about Lost Girl. If your character would somehow become Fae, what kind of Fae do you think they would become?
Oh, I don't know. I always say Vex because I just think that I just love Vex. So maybe that, like Fae power, yeah, maybe that Fae power probably.
Okay.
Or I don't know if there's an invisible Fae power, like Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. But that one would be good. I'll have to think about it. In the meantime, you should shoot an arrow somewhere.